Hi there guys, welcome to another EDH Geeks video. It's me, Adam, again. In case you didn't know who works in this channel. And in case you didn't know what we're talking about here today, we're talking about life totals and using your life total as a resource. I think it's very important subject to sort of cover for some people, because I noticed that a lot of people really don't know how to use their life total as a resource. And it is a resource. I mean, the thing is, like, certainly having, less than 10 life or whatever in Commander, or less than 5 life in Commander, feels kind of bad, but realistically, if you're at 5 life or 10 life or whatever, realistically you're just dead anyway for the most part, realistically. Because, the thing is, you can just die at any point at that, life total. It's just so easy for you to die in the game. So, but again, like, being at 40 life just doesn't do anything for you. Like, sitting there and saying, oh, well, I still want to be at 40 doesn't really do anything, and utilizing your life total as part of a resource is just a fine thing to do. I mean, not to say that some people don't use shock lands and whatnot. I do see some people using shock lands and whatnot, and fetch lands and whatnot. And certainly people are happy to fetch for a shock in Commander as well. But it's just one of those things where I find that people are hesitant to lose life by combat damage, or by burn damage, or by any other damage. They're just like, nah, I don't want to take that other damage. If I'm shocking myself or fetching myself, then that's on me, but I don't want to take any other damage. But you should be able to leverage your life total a bit better. Like, there's greed effects in the game, and people are perfectly happy to pay their life to greed effects, basically drawing you more cards or paying for spells and whatnot, like Bolas's Citadel and whatnot. But again, I just find that people have this really weird tendency to be like, I'm at 40, I don't want to take 2 damage. No, from a combat, or from Burning Earth or something like that, but they have to, from Burning Earth, but they don't have to from combat, I guess, if they've got remover or if they've got blockers. They'll do anything they can to avoid taking any unnecessary damage. I understand that your life total, at some point will run out or whatever, but you shouldn't be that worried about it, you know, being a factor. Like, again, I said combat damage is more relevant than what some people think it is, and I certainly think that is true, but you shouldn't be worried about combat damage that badly to be like, oh, I'll be at 48 now, or 38 now, or whatever, or now I'll be at 35. That's still a really high life total. Above 10 life is still fairly high for the most part. 20 life isn't really that much life. It's what you start with in standard based games like Modern and Legacy and Vintage and Pioneer and whatnot. But that's in comparison in Commander, because in Commander the life is more important where you're at and sort of things like that, like I said. But again, I just think that the way people sort of will sort of try to buff their life total so much that they'll go to such extreme lengths to run things like stasis and 20 or 30 or whatever board wipes and 20 or 30 pieces of removal and things like this is just ridiculous. Like, what are you doing? Why are you playing the game in such a way as to necessitate that you need to be at a a certain life total. Even in life gain decks or life payoff sort of style decks, I just don't think it's worth it. I don't see the point, even if you've got things like Felidar Sovereign and things like that, and say if you're at 40 life, you win the game. I think just the fact is it has lifelink, so eventually you can gain some of that life. And the thing is, again, like in those life gain decks, I think you become the target very easily because people go, well, now your life total's at 60 or 70 or 80 or whatever it is, over 100 sometimes. I've seen, almost at 1,000 and whatnot, things like this. Now we need to focus on you or try to kill you or try to get rid of you because, we need to combat damage, commander damage you out or infect you out or do something to take you out because otherwise we're just never getting rid of you normally. So again, when other people are at 20 and whatnot or less than 20 and there's one player still at 40 and yet they kill everything that attacks them or they will block everything that they can block basically and just make a million tokens that are just 1/1 randoms and things like this. It's just stupid to me. It just doesn't make any sense to me as to why people don't utilize their life total as a resource. You should be using your life total as a resource. You shouldn't care so much about losing a bit of life here and there. The game needs to progress. The game needs to eventually end. And again, I'm talking about more casual commander here, I guess, for the most part. But, when you're trying to win, life totals do mean something. And if you're at the highest life total, for the most part, you will probably be able to eke out that victory. But then again, in saying that, still I think that you can still utilize your life total or you can still take some damage in the game. You shouldn't need to be sitting there at 40 life. You can still be sitting there and be at 20 life and be perfectly happy with your life total when the other people are at 5 and whatnot. And even when other players are at 2 or 3 life, you can easily be at 10. Things like this. It's just the discrepancy doesn't need to be that extreme. That's what I mean. You don't need to have, 100 life to be, and everyone else is at 2 life. That's not going to do anything for you. And it's just like all these other cards that are good that you could put in your deck aren't that big of a detriment to you, and combat isn't that big of a detriment to you, even if you lose from it. No matter what it is, even if it's commander damage or infect or whatever, what have you. So I just don't understand people's, trying to stay in the stratosphere, essentially. I do like to gain myself some life sometimes, here and there, if you're at a lower life total, and life gain is good to keep you in the game if you are at a lower life total and whatnot. It helps you stay in the game so that you can deal with the threats that you need to deal with to try to win. But at some point you just go, no, this person's got the win, mate. They've got, enough stuff to kill me. So, and am I going to kill myself in the process of trying to answer everything or whatnot? And that's what I meant by in my video as well, saying, everyone's too focused on winning. Sometimes you just got to admit defeat to an extent and be like, no, nothing I do is going to work. I can't get anywhere with what I'm trying to do. I might as well call it quits because this person has won the game, And that's what I mean. Just shuffle up and play a new game. Have fun and enjoy yourself. And that's what I mean by this. People who just sort of aren't really playing the game or aren't involved in the game and are just trying to pillow fort as much as possible. It's just like, it's an alright strategy for some part, but it's just like, well, at a certain point it's just becoming dumb, and it's just, no, you're not. It's not affecting anything except for keeping you at this stupidly high life total, and somebody's just going to have to mill you out or do something else to you for you to lose the game, so that they can get rid of you finally. Because you just like every turn is just like, again, you're just like getting away and away from what they can deal with you. So they've got to find a way to deal with you, which is cool. It's another way to work around, people playing the game and whatnot, which is cool to a degree. But again, I don't get it. I don't understand. You should not be that worried about taking a few damage here and there in the early game or in the mid game or even in the later parts of the game. At any point, you need to be trying to go, okay, what am I actually doing to win the game? Sitting here and being at this life total and not doing anything about it isn't winning me the game. So, what does it actually do for you besides, just making you feel like you're safe? That's about it, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, that's for mostly that part. Anyway, guys, that has pretty much been the video for today. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have enjoyed, please do all the YouTube things that you can do, like share, subscribe, comment, share this with a friend, and if you could help us out, go on to our Patreon. The tiers have changed up a bit since last time. I've lowered the price of the tiers, of the higher tiers. The bottom tier is as low as it will go. So that's it. I can't make it any lower than what it is. But you don't need to be on any tier except for the bottom one unless you really want to. But it would be such appreciated and would help out a lot, make the videos much better, and just better content, more content, and what more can you say? You can help me out, tell me what you want to see, and all that sort of stuff. So, and if you do all that, I hope that you'll come back and enjoy more videos.